Hey, it's Mark Loftus. We're back at NAB 2012 here at the Post booth. I'm joined by independent filmmaker Tom Baurain. You're based in Kansas City?
That's correct.
And this is your first year at NAB, so I'm sure you have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, this has been an amazing experience, to say the least. NAB is a little overwhelming, but I'm doing pretty good for my first NAB, I feel.
Comfortable shoes, that's like the first key. You're going to do a lot of walking.
Yeah, that was the first thing everyone was telling me, comfortable shoes.
Yeah. So, well, let's talk a little bit about what the Red Owl, your company, does, because you've done stuff for video games, you've done independent work. I mean, how about giving us just a background?
Well, it's something I came up with in college just as a way to identify myself, the importance of branding, and it's not really a company, it's kind of just me freelancing and delivering cinematic images on a budget. My clients are typically on the lower end, small businesses, corporate stuff, events, weddings. My main client is Major League Gaming. I do quite a bit for them. They have a TV show that they actually put out in Europe through IMG Entertainment, and me and my buddy Joseph Pollack shoot quite a bit for them. They use our footage in the show and a lot of the web content that they put out.
Really? Okay. So, being an independent, you're not necessarily tied to equipment because you probably do a lot of rental when a project comes up. So when you come to NAB, what are you looking for? Are you looking for stuff that you may buy or just things that will have to fit into a workflow somewhere?
I think you're always looking for stuff to buy. I mean, this isn't the first time I've really followed NAB closely. Twitter has been a great tool for that. So you kind of have a certain expectation that you're going to get to play with a lot of tools that you're never going to use simply because of expense or stuff that's not going to come out. So I'm always looking for something that's going to up my game personally to be able to deliver better images and, you know, a higher standard of production. So
and budget conscious, I would imagine.
I have absolutely budget conscious. I'm always thinking a few years down the line, simply because you have to. I don't get points for going with the latest and greatest thing. I'm not always on the bleeding edge, but I like to stay current on trends and whatnot.
And I know that you got a look at the Blackmagic camera. It was pretty exciting. A lot of people have been talking about that. As an independent, that's something that you could make a purchase for and put right into your workflow.
Unless I see something that really concerns me, I'm absolutely buying that camera. The workflow with Cinema DNG is something that kind of worries me. It's something I'm going to do some heavy research on. Obviously, there's a lack of XLR, but at that price point, for what they're giving you, if you're complaining, then I can't converse with you.
So it just has too much to offer to say no to. I mean, it comes packaged
Absolutely,
with the Resolve color correction and stuff. So
and ultrascopes. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like $1,500 worth of software and a camera.
Yeah.
A really great camera to boot.
And from a shooting perspective, does it give you the features that you need? I know it's compatible with the Canon lenses.
Yeah, for the most part it does. The only thing that really concerns me is the sensor. It's close to micro four thirds, but it's actually a little smaller because it's taking a 16:9 crop. You're not shooting in 4:3. So there's a little bit of a concern there, but I mean, like I said, for that price point, I'll deal with it. I mean, there's no reason. And honestly, it makes me feel a little bit better because I just saw some test footage literally 5 minutes ago, and you can only discern so much detail on an iPhone, but the depth of field that I was seeing at the test video was from a guy named John Brawley. So if you Google Blackmagic camera test, he's like in the top results. It's a pretty boring camera test, but it does give you a little hint as to what the footage does look like, and it looks pretty good.
What were you using for acquisition prior to seeing like that? Would you be using a Canon or the 5D, or would you be using one of the more higher-end cameras? I mean, what was your option before that?
I've been using the Canon DSLRs for a few years now.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in college, that was kind of the main thing. That was really the only tool that you had, and it kind of came out of left field. Canon didn't intend for it to be so popular, but I mean, it's been a great moneymaker for them, and it's a great tool for indies. But I'm kind of reaching the point where I'm looking at other cameras, looking to upgrade. The Sony FS700 is pretty interesting, but the Blackmagic camera definitely has my attention.
Yeah, and I know you're an editor. You recently switched over from Final Cut to Adobe Premiere. Here at the show, Adobe's got CS6. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that. Are you still keeping an eye on Avid? What do you do on the editorial side?
CS6 has been kind of interesting because I got early access to the software, but I haven't been able to see speed grade, which is one of the apps that I was most interested in, and I honestly didn't even have time to look at the other apps because of how much I've been working. And so mostly what I've been doing is reading the forums and bug reports and things. So it's been really funny to see the discussion around it. After Effects CS6 is a huge leap forward for me. I use it for a number of things. I mean, like motion graphics, like most people, and speed grade is exciting. The whole suite is really just a testament to how hard Adobe has worked on this release.
Yeah.
Wes Howell from Adobe Systems yesterday showed myself and a few other people that were on that South by Southwest panel, moving from Final Cut Progress or Peril. He showed us some of the things that you can do without rendering in Premiere, and it's a huge leap forward from 5.5. It's definitely very exciting for independents like me.
What about storage? Is that on your radar? Just it almost seems like you can never have enough. You're on a PC platform now.
Yep.
So I don't know if you can benefit from the Thunderbolt, which a lot of the storage manufacturers are trying to push. What's your storage solution these days?
Well, my current system doesn't have Thunderbolt, so that's not really something that I can look at too closely, but it's definitely always something I'm thinking about. Data storage and backup, and just staying organized is something that's essential for any production. I don't care how big or how small it is. If you're not thinking about how you're backing up your files and giving yourself the ability to have hard drives crash, then it's going to hurt you in the end. I learned this the hard way, like most people. About halfway through college, I lost most of what I was working on, and that hurt me quite a bit.
Yeah,
so
that's like a wake-up call where you say, I'm not
going
to let it happen again.
It was a huge wake-up call. For now, I think the cheapest solution for me is actually going to be a product from Max Sales called Voyager. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It basically allows you to swap out hard drives like tapes, and you can. It's fairly inexpensive, so I think I'm probably going to go that way using eSATA connection.
Well, with really a day and a half left at NAB here, do you have targets set on what you're going to go try to check out before the show ends?
Definitely Adobe CS6. I'm going to try to take a closer look at that. NVIDIA has some amazing technology. They've actually got an event called Limelight tonight that's going to reveal some things that I think people are going to be very interested in. So I'm definitely going to try and check out the CS6 release a little more closely, get some hands-on time. Red Booth, I don't know if you know, Ridley Scott did a short film in 3D for them, and it's actually being projected in 4K today. At least that's what I've heard, because in the previous days of the show, 4K wasn't working, so they were projecting it in 2K, which is fine by me. But it would be nice to see it in 4K.
Real nice 4K.
And the lines have been insane. So
yeah.
And then also Shane Hurlbut did a short film for Canon called The Ticket.
I saw it.
You saw it.
Beautiful.
What'd you think?
It looks beautiful. I saw it on Sunday night. They had a presentation over at the Palms in one of the theaters there. So I would imagine it was digital projection, but it was just beautiful. The colors were beautiful. The sharpness was beautiful. I can't imagine anybody would criticize any of those new cameras. They just look so amazing.
Shane's an absolute master of his craft. He's one of the most inspirational people I've ever had the pleasure to read. He's one of the few blogs that I can really respect on every level, because I've never seen anyone so passionate about creating great images.
Yeah, if you have a chance to check out that short, it's less than 10 minutes. It's really worth seeing.
Oh, definitely planning on it, for sure.
So, well, they're telling me I've got to wrap up here, but I want to thank Tom for coming by the Post booth here at NAB 2012, and stay tuned. We've got Evan Checkman from @Radical Media coming up next.